My strange hobby exposed a neighborhood conspiracy no one believed existed. I've always been that weird guy with an even weirder hobby. 3 years ago, I started collecting discarded grocery lists I found in shopping carts and parking lots. Here's something fascinating about these tiny glimpses into strangers' lives, their handwriting, their needs, their odd combinations of items. I collect scraps of paper with eggs, bread, dog food scrawled on them. My girlfriend thought it was harmless but pointless until my collection inadvertently exposed something sinister happening in our quiet suburban neighborhood. It started when I noticed an unusual pattern among the hundreds of crumpled lists in my collection. 13 had identical items written in different handwriting. Batteries, bleach, ammonia, duct tape, black trash bags. Even stranger, all 13 had been found at the same grocery store within a 5-mile radius of my house. Maybe it's just a coincidence, my girlfriend said when I pointed it out. Or maybe Teher is a popular cleaning hack going around dire curls. Bleach and ammonia should never be mixed. It creates toxic chloramine vapor. Rainburn, who knew basic cleaning safety, would know that. Out of curiosity, I started marking the locations where I'd found each list on a map of our neighborhood. They formed a perfect circle around Lakeside Park Parent, a small wooded area with a retention pond that had been closed for renovations for nearly a year. One Saturday morning, I decided to walk around the park's perimeter. The chain link fence was covered with thick green tarps, but I found a small tier near the back entrance. Through it, I could see that the pond had been drained completely in the empty basin. Several men in ordinary clothes, penned not construction workers' pen, were unloading large plastic containers from unmarked vans. I snapped a few photos with my phone before one of them looked my way, and I hurried home that night. I showed the photos to my girlfriend. Something weird is happening at Lakeside, I explained. And somehow these grocery lists are connected. She squinted at my evidence board with all the lists pinned up. Conspiracy theory-ish. Maybe you should take a break from the hobby. I couldn't let it go. The next day, I took my concerns to Officer Mendez at the local police station. He listened patiently before explaining that the park was being used for a controlled environmental study by the county. Nothing suspicious. But when I asked which department was handling it, he couldn't give me a straight answer, and he seemed unusually interested in whether I had shared my theories with anyone else. That weekend, I noticed a car parked across from our house. The same car was there the next day and the next. Then the grocery list stopped appearing. My usual hunting grounds yielded nothing for 2 weeks straight. Instead, I began finding torn pieces of notepaper with messages that felt targeted. Curiosity killed the cat, and some hobbies are dangerous. Yesterday, while checking our mail, I found a handwritten note. Final warning, stop collecting. I drove straight to the newspaper office downtown. A young reporter named LSA was the only one who took me seriously. She had been investigating similar reports about strange activities and unmarked vehicles at 3 other parks in the region. This morning, LSA's front page story broke. Environmental corruption exposed. Private companies dumping chemical waste in county parks. The investigation revealed that several county officials had been accepting bribes to allow corporations to dispose of industrial chemicals in park retention ponds. The same chemicals listed on those grocery lists used to neutralize and disguise the waste. By noon, the FBI had raided the park's department offices. The sedan disappeared from our street, and my phone rang with a call from Officer Mendez, who awkwardly invited me to discuss my concerns with some federal agents. My girlfriend stared at the newspaper in disbelief. Your weird hobby actually uncovered a criminal conspiracy. I smiled, already thinking about where to find tomorrow's discarded grocery lists. Sometimes the most ordinary things tell the most extraordinary stories. Pertain if you are paying attention. Some people collect items because they're valuable. Others discover that sometimes the most valuable evidence comes from what everyone else throws away.